And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Aries. Welcome to Koi Place Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. What we're looking at right now is your one-to-one reading for the month of September. One-to-ones are a style of reading I do where it examines a direct relational dynamic between you and another person. 1-to-1, right? Two common misconceptions I feel get done with these kinds of reads. A is that they tend to get called love readings a lot, and sometimes it's not lovely at all, right? Trust me, I try to take precaution with all the sign collectives and getting through the tough stuff because that too is part of an emotional connection. So that's the first. And the second, it ain't always got to be about love, right? It doesn't always have to be about an intimate partner. Sometimes it could be about family, friend, coworker, another dynamic, right? People that you may have even just met, right? Just a one-to-one, a direct line between point A and point B. So as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and don't always be so willing to reverse. I know that at times, especially in these kind of reads, things can get tough, but let's sit with it for a second, right? Let's try to understand what's going on, what's coming up within, and let's talk about it. That's why we came to the table today. So follow along with me for your one-to-one read in the month of September, Aries. Let's see what the cards say. So that's the cards that we need to see, please, for Aries in their one-to-one. You'll be on this side, they'll be on this one. What are the cards that Aries need to see, please, for their one-to-one in September? Oh, it's so hot right now. What are the cards that we need to see, please? Aries in their one-to-one reading. On your side? Okay, Ten of Cups, the notion of harmony, at least with purpose or some type of fulfillment on all ends. On their side? Four of Wands. Okay. So finding deeper meaning. So this is definitely an Aries who's in a dynamic where both people are finding deeper meaning in the bond that they share. Right? Could it be an intimate partner? I'm seeing very much signs of that, right? The Four of Wands and the Ten of Cups, both harmonizing to fulfilling extents on both ends. One saying, here are the boundaries. The other saying, the options are limitless, right? When we harmonize together, right? When we synthesize what we're doing, then that's where the magic happens. So between you and another, hey, we're getting our hearts right together. I like that. That's a very beautiful opening. Okay, now let's see your fronts and backs. The way I define it here, the fronts are what's facing the other person. The backs is what's not immediately shown or presented. Show the cards that we need to see, please. The fronts and backs in this one-to-one read for Aries. Fronts and backs for Aries in this reading. Okay. Starting over here, we have the Hierophant, card of Taurus. Okay. And Temperance, card of Sagittarius. Okay. We're going to come back to those because they have a very specific meaning, particularly in a relational dynamic. So we'll see in a second. On their side, Nine of Swords. Okay. Nightmares and anxiety. Oh, okay. Well, this is about to be fun. The Hangman is what's behind. So let's talk about it. On your end, what you are showing facing each other is a Temperance and a Nine of Swords. For you, Temperance means, healing with time, that I finally got things right. We got my internal, whatever you want to call it for yourself, Aries, you feel that it is right. A long time coming, but we made the pathway work out. What they're showing you on their end is all the anxieties and nightmares of what is presented as the possibility, which is very strange to say that I still want this relationship. So that's at least the front-facing end. What's held behind on your end, the Hierophant, the card of Taurus, no, you're locked in, right? We're saying, hey, this is where I stand. I didn't lie from the moment we started having this conversation. In fact, let me show you, right? That's what you're trying to present as part of this deal, part of this agreement between you and this other person. On their end, behind their back, the hangman. Time will tell. Now, that is intentional, very intentional. I'm not saying that as passive, because the hangman being held behind beyond what is said on the surface, if they're vocalizing all their nightmares, all their concerns, it might not be the right time, what if we're not ready, etc., etc. The hangman's still held behind. There's still a level and a strong degree of hope. They're trying to analyze and understand what's going on inside of them that's causing this reaction, right? Because from over here, I see a very self-assertive person who's saying, hey, let's make a jump, let's make the leap. On their end, they're saying, okay, like I really want this 4 of Wands, but maybe we should hold off on something, right? The hangman is coming from, I don't want to say it's a reactive space of fear, but it's what's actually preventing this Knight of Wands from going full overboard. I mean, this Knight of Swords. I don't know if I've been saying wands so far, but these are swords. These Knight of Swords from going full overboard and saying this is impossible, right? Trust me, although they may not be saying it on the surface, there is actually a lot of hope on this person's end to say, okay, I'm trying to hold out hope. Let's see where this goes. Let's see what we can do. Cool. And show the positions that we stand on. What are the cards that we need to see, please? For Aries and their 1-to-1 read between them and the other. Where do they each individually stand in regards to this dynamic? On your side, Aries? 5 of Pentacles. Okay, I'll come back to this in a second. How so? 3 of Wands. Oh, we are just playing emotional ping pong at this point. Okay, so how do I even relay this? On your side, you have the harmony, you presented the plan, you presented your purpose, you made the best opening argument you could have for anything that you wanted out of this, right, Aries? And yet somehow you're still feeling left out or locked out, right? Part of you can't shake that feeling of, I did the right thing. I thought this is what we were supposed to say and do, right? There's just this notion that between you and whoever this person is that, okay, am I not being clear enough? Did I not... what about what I did is not making this thing pick up? Because I was very upfront and very intentional about where I was. So did I say something wrong? Right? There's just this anxiety that not only did we do something wrong, but it's causing a distancing factor right now. On their side, although they show all the anxiety, at least in terms of their front-facing approach, they're actually very expectant of the horizon with whatever this dynamic can hold, which is very strange, right? We have on one side the person who presented everything of, I want this to go this way, I know it can, and then there's now this building tension of being left out versus the person who's airing out all the anxieties and all, the worries, who is trying to see that entire plan fully go through, right? One is vocalizing it, but is getting to that point. One has gotten to that point, but not vocalizing their worries. You see what's going on here, at least in terms of the read dynamic? You're kind of like playing ping pong with each other. So I'm trying to understand what the dynamic is holding. Underneath it all, Knight of Wands, the freedom of the spirit. So what do we act on? What feels right that we can build together? And again, I think we're getting lost in the minutia of everything has to be absolutely perfect, whether that be on this person's end or your words about what you said and did. That's very clear and obvious, Aries. We're trying to consider all sides here, but the freedom of the spirit, if it feels right, it feels right. And both of you are on kind of like that wave of one's trying to get over their fears, the other one's trying to not let fears get to them, right? It's kind of the flip side of the same coin. So yeah, okay, I like that. Now, 1-to-1, we have one person facing the other, 1-to-1. Let's see what's shared in between. 1, 2, 1. Show the cards that we need to see, please, upon the bridge The empty gap that lies between Aries and the person in this one-to-one read. Yeah. Between you and the other, we hold. Ace of Cups, again, emotional fulfillment, but having that be in your connective point between you two. Again, if our cups runneth over, then what can we build together, right? If this emotionally feels right, and both of us are on at least some type of mutual agreement there that we want emotional fulfillment or whatever the plan is. Knight of Cups, we have to express what that actually means, not letting the other parts, the unsaid, the anxieties, the worries hold us back, right? The Knight of Cups is very endearing because it's also the most emotionally vulnerable of all the knights. Knights are cards of action, water being the element of how deep the river runs in our emotionality. Putting that knight, especially under that Ace of Cups, both the same element, saying, okay, here's what it is. Here's what I want. And I'm really, going out on a limb here, so please just tell me what you feel about it. The Moon, the card of Pisces. And there are things that both sides have not yet understood about this. That is cool. Right, because at least if we're coming from the emotionally right space, we can work on what we can discover with each other together. Seven of Cups, possibility. And again, I never saw that fading out here. Overall, again, the shared energy between is not like it's animosity at all. I don't see that, Aries. What I see is you have laid out this plan, and now, okay, some of our own insecurities and anxiety are starting to set in. On their side, they're airing out very bluntly everything that makes them afraid and still holding on to that hope of everything they wish that they could have with you, right? This is it's very much stressed right now, but I will say that we have two people who are very much, at least emotionally, on the same page of, yeah, I want to know if we got this together. Okay? Nope. We're just gonna go to underneath. Underneath it all, Five of Swords. There we go. Okay, at least that's honest. So the Five of Swords, air being that element. Fives are cards of conflict. That one being of internal warfare or self-sabotage. So there's the worry on each side of, did we do this right or are we gonna mess this up? Yours is coming out now that you've laid out the plan. Theirs is coming out in the open, even though that's not what they truly believe. They just have to work on whatever is keeping them from that place. Both of y'all playing ping pong right now. Same thing, flip side of the same coin. Define the major arcana strewn across the table for Aries in their read, in this one-to-one read. Define for Aries what these major arcana entail. We're gonna start with this Temperance because something about the dress in that part of the depiction really got to me. First, we look to define Temperance, the card of Sagittarius, here in this read. What do we need to see as we start here to define the major arcana across this table? To Temperance. Two of Cups. So front facing, let's have, for those who are in a newer dynamic, let's see how we could bond and learn each other more intimately, deeper together. And as we do that, we discover ourselves. For those who are in a just starting dynamic, this is what you're proposing. Let's get together. Both essentially the same exact positive probes of being, hey, I really like this. Do you? And where are we going and what do you want to build with that? Let's just hop to the Hierophant, showing the Hierophant. Nine of Cups, the wanting, the desire to express our true emotionality from within. And again, you laid out that plan very blunt and clear to this person, Aries. Nothing more can really be said at this point. So that's probably why, again, that feeling of being locked out is starting to creep in. Because again, it's like, hey, I thought of this entire essay. Did you read it? Right? Let's go on their side to the Hangman. Page of Wands. And again, this is why I say the hope did not dissipate in any capacity. no matter how small the fire, this fire dwindling down to an ember, right? The pages are like the smallest versions of that elemental assignment, whereas the pages are the kids of tarot. They cannot balance humongous concepts upon them, but they also are the most vulnerable and true version of it. Here, let's be clear, that Four of Wands is at the top. I see the relational dynamic. I see what you want to build. My nightmares and everything, I'm airing them out right now. Let's see if we can handle it. But behind me, the reason why I'm holding out hope, that Hangman to that Three of Wands, Page of Wands, because I'm still optimistic about what we could be. The hope has not left yet. Just the flip side of the same coin. And to that Moon, Four of Wands. Oh, okay. Got it. So now that we said, again, this is very much a deep, intimate dynamic at this point, if you haven't figured that out, Aries, between you and another. Now it's being said, okay, well, we got to actually find out what a deeper relationship between us means. The thing is, that isn't necessarily rooted in, theory and debate. It's more so, okay, we got to go through it and see point by point, detail by detail, what do we want out of this and how we're going to get that. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. There are things that, even in an intimate partner bonding, there are things that we will not understand with each other until we get there. All we can do is hope that we're coming from the right space with both of us as we move forward to whatever that goal would set out to be. Fair. I like this. Because, again, there's so much emotional vulnerability here. And vulnerability is also honesty. Resolution. Reveal the cards of resolution that we need to see, please, for Aries in their 1-to-1 read, month of September. What is held in space of resolution for Aries in their 1-to-1 read in September? In the resolution, we hold the Hierophant, the card of Taurus. Again, popping out, you had it over here. The Hierophant here, if this is being in the space of resolution, we're going to follow what we internally feel to be right, and we're not going to deviate from that path, but we also have to define what that means. So what other examples can we look to? What things can we learn about ourselves in this process? Five of Pentacles, the notion of being, again, where we had it over here, or another repeat, that something is not being done or said out loud that could get us to where we need to be, right? We want to follow that spiritual purpose right now, but we also feel like we're locked in no man's land. And that's where it is currently, Aries. I don't want to say that it's there forever, because again, there's way too much just notions of happiness and fulfillment on the board. But we also have to move, engage those anxieties from a non-defeatist standpoint with that person, but also engage with our own fears of exclusion that are starting to pop up, right? It doesn't come from being around those, it actually comes from directly engaging with those. Underneath it all, 10 of Wands. And so the burden is the work. It's not just the lovey-dovey feelings. Trust me, I've seen a lot of them across the board for you, Aries. That's not what I'm worried about. In terms of two people who are emotionally, happy to see each other, brightening up each other's day. Yeah, I've seen it all, right? I've seen a lot of cards of bonding. The only thing I didn't see was the lovers, pretty much. But in terms of what that actual relational dynamic entails, that requires both partners, both people, to look beyond their anxieties and fears that pop up. I don't think you kind of recognize just how excluded you started to feel until the non-response was had. And B, whatever the person, what they're vocalizing right now, that is their truth, right? That is their anxiety, that is whatever it is, and it's something that you shouldn't overlook, right? In order to get to where you both mutually establish that you want to be, because again, there was a lot of emotional expression across the board, we also have to establish where we are. We are flip sides of the same coin. And if that coin is fear, right now, we're the flip side of the same fear. So that's what I have in your read today, Aries. 1-to-1, you gotta love them. You gotta like it. But overall, it still suggests, hey, if we could work with quote unquote the worst of us, and I hate that the kind of connotation because it's very limiting, but if we could work with things that are unlikable right now and deal with the tough problems, we can start to hash out what this long-term goal is between us. That's what I see in your read today. I hope this conversation helped, and do the right thing, okay? Take care. See ya.